Okay, you score him, President Buhari high on the anti-corruption war. You say he's fed well in the area of security. It's 2 years. He still has another. He's just gone half mile. He still has the other half to go. And don't you think we are already throwing the baby away with the bathwater and not giving him, cutting him some slack?
No, I don't think so. Well, what I think is, it's a pity Buhari is going through what he's going through. It's a pity. It's a pity. I'll say this. Let me just, on a lighter note, I'll just say something that I told some students. I was singing a song when I was 11 years old. Then Buhari was president. I didn't know my younger son was listening to me, my 7-year-old son. It was a song that was sung when he came to Benin. It's a simple song, General Buhari, you are welcome to Bendel State, the home of culture and hospitality, the ancient city of Benin City. We wish you a happy stay so that the memories can linger on. We are peace-loving people, very hardworking and honest too. May your tenure of office be a blessing to all Nigeria. General Buhari Wabo here, I didn't even know they were listening to me. And my 7-year-old just came up to me and said, but Daddy, there is no Bendel State. I said, how can you tell me there is no Bendel State? He repeated all the 36 states in Nigeria and gave me their state capital. And I said, okay, my dear, there was a Bendel State. And then that Edo you called and the Delta you called is Bendel State. And I said, why did you talk about Buhari? I said, Buhari was our president. He shouted. And I said, yes. He now told me that. So when he grows up, will Buhari still be our president if he has a child? And I laughed about it. You see, so basically, the message I got from what he said is that we have recycled our leaders. We must take our destiny in our hands, especially the youth. When Buhari was president, he was 41 years old or 42 years old. And that is the area we must look at.
You sang a song, it makes us wonder what's happening with history in our schools. You said your son didn't know there used to be a Bendel State. Brings us to sectoral budgets in our 2017 budget. Do you think enough was allocated to education and some other key sectors?
Well, but certainly
our National Assembly got 125 billion, which they've explained and broken down to us.
Well, certainly not. I just used the Federal Ministry of Works and Power, for example. Remember that the National Assembly had to up it by 25 billion to capture some key roads. But that just makes it it's still less than 600 billion of what he is owing. Now, other sectors you look at education. Education is the key. Once we don't have education and infrastructure right, we can't get it right. My biggest problem in sectoral allocation is the social corporate responsibility that this government came on to this 2015 May 29th on. I want them to succeed with it. This feeding program they're talking about is the same thing Awolowo did. This agoing rice that we were eating, which was free rice as at that time. This feeding program will not only empower the farmers, it will empower our caterers. Imagine 1 egg a day for the 5.5 million child they intend to feed. They have not given enough attention to that sector in terms of sectoral. They must feed those children. They must pay those empower people. They must pay that 5,000 naira. Now they reduce it from 25 million to 1 million. We are not just trying to criticize them. They must take these 3 things very seriously. That way they will be able, if you don't put money in the hands of people, you don't diversify any economy. Don't forget that to reflate the economy, because we're in recession now, you must spend money to reflate the economy. Now, that budget, as I'm seeing it, that's 7.134 trillion. 7.44. Oh, it's even 7.45. Yes, 7.44. You're very correct. Trillion. It is impossible for you to make that target. It's not a realistic budget. I'm sorry to say.
Okay, so
for them to be able to reflect.
What's the way to go?
To me,
what are you expecting?
What I expect they should do now is, apart from focusing on Fashola's ministry, which is very key. Fashola's ministry is a ministry that can rejuvenate. They have to also help Kayode Fayemi's ministry. They have to remove it from the exclusive legislative list. They have to take it back to the states, and they have to make sure that those items, I keep saying it, that were banned from sourcing forex are unbanned, those 41 items, so that we don't continue to deceive ourselves. The goods that are finding their way into the country are making things very, very high for the common man. It is important that they cut their coats according to their cloth, not size.
Mr. Pt.2, what are your expectations of this government in the next 2 years, and how?
Well, I think that I concede to them that what they met on ground economically was terrible enough to dampen the spirit of the people. But I thought that by now they must have been able to navigate their bearing. Now to be able to activate what needed to be activated so that they can deliver on their promises within the next 1 year. If they don't perform, they know the consequence of that. The promises you made in 2016, if you have not fulfilled them, what then will you tell people as to the reason why they should vote for you next? So if they have a duty now to utilize the next 12 months to principally deliver on those promises. For people like us, education is the greatest priority. Chief Awolowo was willing to spend over 40% of the budget because man is at the center of the development. If you educate the man, every other thing will follow. But you see, it's because those who have governed us, most of them, never passed through the walls of the university. So they don't even have an understanding of the value of education. The thing of the, you know, one during, I think it was during Abacha's time, that they brought somebody who didn't complete secondary education, and as the Minister of Education.
Okay.
And when he was asked, he said,
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr.
That's the truth of the matter.
Thank you very much, Mr. Padukun and Mr. Ken Okolibo, for joining us on the program. That's how far we can go now. Well, for many in Nigeria, neat remaking the Nigerian federal structure may not have succeeded in solving all our political ills. It is nonetheless what has kept Nigeria united. However, even non-federal systems are faced with similar problems, bordering on threat to its existence. Therefore, our inability to have stability in the political system, in spite of years of practicing federalism, should not be taken as bankruptcy of the system. 2 years down, 2 years to go for the Buhari government. I leave you on that note. I'm Imana Amawe. Bye-bye.